I grew up in a country where the economy runs from the money sent from abroad, where families check dollar exchange rates more than the weather, where 10% currency swing doesn't mean your portfolio is down, it means the rent is up. That gave me something that Western commentators don't have. I actually feel when the dollar moves. When I see Americans and Europeans casually debate about if the dollar is dying, I pay attention. For billions of people outside of the US, it's not just theory, it's survival. Now here's what's interesting. Everyone online is saying the same thing right now. The dollar is dying, BRICS is taking over, America is finished. If you look at the headlines, it looks convincing. But here's what the headlines aren't telling you. Since the Iran war started, the dollar has actually gotten stronger. Investors aren't running away from America, they're running to it. So for the people who are saying dollar is dying, they're wrong. Every war America fights, every sanction it imposes, every time it uses dollar as a weapon, it's slowly killing the very thing that makes that weapon powerful. Today, I'm going to explain a paradox that will change how you think about money and power. My name is Saad Kosa, and let's get into it. When war breaks out, when chaos hits, the world panics. Money doesn't run away from America, it runs to America. Since the US and Israel started striking Iran, the dollar has actually nearly risen up 1.3% against other major currencies. That's the best weekly gain over a year. Gold hit above $5,400. Oil spiked nearly $120 a barrel. Stock markets tanking. But the dollar, stronger than ever. Why, you ask? Because fear is dollar's best friend. Let me break it down. 3 reasons. 1. Flight to safety. When investors panic, they sell everything. Stocks, bonds, emerging market currencies, and convert it all to US dollars. More demand, higher prices, basic economics. 2. Oil is priced in dollars. When oil goes from $71 to nearly $120 a barrel, which just happened, every country on earth needs more dollar to buy the same amount of oil. That pushes dollar demand even higher. This makes the whole world just desperate for dollars because of a war. Number 3, interest rates expectation. Higher oil means higher inflation. Higher inflation means the Federal Reserve can cut interest rate. Higher rates means better return on dollar assets. So global money flows in and not out. Finance bros on Twitter confidently saying dollar is finished after every war. They're confusing what should happen with what actually happened. But don't get comfortable because dollar is not invincible. So let me tell you what they're missing. Here's what dollar is strong crowd completely misses. Yes, the dollar rises during crisis, but every crisis America creates, every war it fights, every sanction it imposes, it gives the rest of the world one more reason to build an alternative. In the 2000s, the dollar made up 71% of foreign exchange reserves. Today, about 57%. That's 14-point drop in 2 decades. China held $1.3 trillion in the US Treasury bonds in 2013. By late 2025, $760 billion. They've quite literally dumped half of their American debt over 12 years. Why? Because America taught them a lesson that they'll never forget. The sanction lesson. In 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine,
мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
The US and its allies froze Russian central bank reserves, hundreds and billions of dollars just gone, inaccessible. You might think Russia deserved it, but I'm not here to argue that. But here's what every country learned that day. If I hold my money in dollars, it might vanish the next day. And that's exactly happening right now. Sanctions are America's superpower until everyone builds a bunker. China and Russia now conducts most of their trade in yuan and rubles. No dollar involved. Brazil and China signed a yuan real settlement agreement. But the real threat, Saudi Arabia. China now is Saudi Arabia's largest oil customer. Saudi has openly been considering accepting yuan for Chinese oil sales. That is massive. To understand that, we'll have to explain the petrodollar. 1971, America is broke. The Vietnam War drained the treasury. Other countries are demanding their gold back. Nixon panics and takes the dollar off the gold standard. So now the dollar is backed by nothing. Except in 1973, the US cuts a deal with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia sells oil only in US dollars, invest profits in the US Treasury bonds, and for that, America provides protection. Now, why was this genius? Every country needs oil, and if you price dollars in oil, every country needs dollars. And if every country needs dollars, America can just print money and the world has to observe it. The petrodollar isn't just a financial system, it's the foundation of American empire. This is why America can run into $1 trillion deficit. This is why your mortgage rate in Sydney or your rent in London connects to decisions made in Washington. But what happens when the other side doesn't need you anymore? America used to be the world's largest oil importer. Now it's a net importer. China is now the world's largest importer, and China doesn't have a defense deal with Saudi Arabia. The 50-year-old marriage is showing cracks, and the Iranian war just made those cracks wider. Talking about the Iranian war, look at what just happened. Iran's attack hit energy facilities across Gulf countries like Qatar, Saudi, and Kuwait. The Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the oil passes, now is controlled. Oil spiked past $100 for the first time since 2022. Now here's something nobody's covering. Last year, the UAE committed to invest hundreds of billions in dollars in America. Sovereign wealth funds, real estate, tech investments, and so on. According to the Financial Times, those commitments are now under review. Gulf states are discussing whether to withdraw from US contracts or cancel the future commitments. Why? Because America just turned their neighbors into a war zone. The US Treasury Secretary just issued a waiver allowing India to buy Russian oil.
The Indians had been very good actors. We had asked them to stop buying sanctioned Russian oil this fall. They did. They were going to substitute it with US. We have given them permission to accept the Russian oil.
Why? Because Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz and America needed to keep global oil flowing. Sanctions are the main tools of dollar dominance. When America starts making exceptions for its own rules, other countries might take notes. So if you have liked the video so far, please hit the subscribe button. It will help me and my team produce more videos like these to you. The dollar won't collapse tomorrow. When the war starts, when the chaos hits, when the money flows into America, that's short-term reality. But every war, every sanction, every threat, it pushes countries to build alternatives. They're all building a system where America isn't in the picture. The question isn't whether dollar dominance fades. It's how fast and whether you're positioned it for or not. The petrodollar system lasted 50 years. The next 50 might look completely different. I grew up watching currency hit my family. I learned to pay attention to things that comfortable people ignore. And here's what I've learned. If you actually understand how power really works, you have a less chance of actually getting crushed by it. And this video encourages you to be articulate, know the game, and play it well. So if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and share this to your friend, and I'll see you in the next one.